Good morning, class. Kindly stand for a prayer. Kindly lead a prayer out. In the name of the Father, the Son, of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Our Father in heaven, holy be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay, you may now take your seats, class. So for your attendance, say present when your name is called. Yara. R. Very good. I'm glad that all of you are present today. At this juncture, I have here a picture and I want you to observe and analyze. Now, based on this picture, class, what have you observed? Very good. What else? Correct. So, based on your answer, what do you think is our topic this morning? Any idea? Correct. So, our topic this morning is all about person composition. So, this morning, you are tasked to define person composition, solve problems involving person composition, and tell the importance of person compositions in our daily life. So what is person composition? Any idea? Yes, correct. What else? Yes, that's right. So when we say person composition, it is defined as the ratio of an amount of each element to the total amount of individual elements in a compound, then multiplied by 100%. Do you get me, class? Okay. So, what are the formula of person composition? Any idea? Yes? Very good. So, the formula of the person composition is person composition equals mass of an element over the total mass of a given compound times 100%. Any questions with regards to the formula, class? If none, let us now proceed to the steps in solving the person composition. Now, do you have any idea what are the steps in solving person composition? Yes, correct. Aside from that, what else? Yes, very good. So the first step is that we have to find the molar mass of a compound. Second step, we have to divide the molar mass of the component by the total mass of the compound and multiply by 100%. Do you understand, class? Okay, any questions with regards to the steps in solving person composition? Okay, if there's no more questions, so let us try the sample problems. Number 1. Calculate the percent by mass of nitrogen in caffeine. Now, what are the elements that is present in the compound of caffeine? Correct. First is the carbon. What else? Very good, which is the hydrogen. How about the next one? Very good. So it is nitrogen. And the last one is, yes, nice idea, which is oxygen. Now, what are the atomic mass of the carbon? Anyone? Any idea? Yes, that's correct. So it is 12.01 grams. Now, how about the atomic mass of the hydrogen? Any idea? Yes, that's good, which is 1.00 grams. Now, how about the atomic mass of the nitrogen? Anyone? Yes, that's correct, which is 14 grams. And how about the atomic mass of the oxygen? Yes, you are right, which is 16 grams. So, we have to multiply all the elements of their moles. Now, what is the number moles of the carbon? Anyone? Very good, which is 8 mole. Now, how about the mole of the hydrogen? Very good, which is 10 mole. Now, how about the mole of the nitrogen? Yes, you are right, which is 4 mole. And the last one is the mole of the oxygen. Yes, very good, which is 2 mole. So all we have to do is we have to multiply mass in each element times the number of moles. So let's start with the carbon. So 12.01 grams times 8 mole equals 96.08 grams over mole. And hydrogen equals 1.00 grams times 10 mole. The answer is very good, which is 10 grams over mole. Now, how about for nitrogen? What is the answer? Yes, exactly, which is 56 grams over mole. And for oxygen, what is the answer? Yes, correct, which is 32.00 grams. Since we have the answer of all the elements, we have to add. So 96.08 grams. So 96.08 grams over mole plus 10.00 grams over mole plus 56.00 grams over mole plus 32.008 over mole. So what could be the answer? 81. Yes, correct. So the answer becomes 194.08 mole of molar mass. Let us now substitute our given to the formula. Okay. So our formula is percent composition equals mass of an element over the total mass of a given compound times 100%. Okay. So let us now substitute, class. So our percent of nitrogen equals 56.00 grams over mole over 194.08 grams over mole times 100%. So what could be the answer? Okay, try to solve. Anyone? Yes, that's correct. So the answer will be percent of nitrogen equals 28.9%. Okay, any questions, class? Okay? If there's no more questions, so let us now proceed to the second problem, which will compute the percent composition of each element in the compound carbon dioxide. Now, what are the element present in the compound carbon dioxide, class? Yes, correct. Carbon. How about the next one? What else? Yes, that's correct, which is oxygen. Now, what are the atomic mass of the carbon? Yes, you are right. The atomic mass of the carbon, which is 12.01 grams. Now, how about the atomic mass of the oxygen? Yes, exactly, which is 16 grams. Now, we have to multiply them number of moles. So, what is the number of moles of the carbon in 1? Correct, which is 1 mole. Now, how about the number of moles of oxygen? Yes, correct, which is 2 mole. So, all we have to do is we have to multiply first the carbon. So, 12.01 grams times 1 mole. What could be the answer? That's right, which is 12.01 grams over mole. How about the oxygen? What is the answer? Yes, correct. So, 16 grams times 2 mole equals 32.00 grams over mole. Now we have to add the carbon and oxygen. So 12.01 grams over mole plus 32.00 grams over mole equals, what's the answer? Yes, correct, which is 44.01 grams over mole of molar mass. Now, since we have the given, so let us now substitute the given problem to our formula. So, the total is 44.01 grams over mole of molar mass. So, here's the formula, which is Percent composition equals mass of an element over the total of a given compound times 100%. So, let us substitute first the given problem of the carbon. Okay, so let's now substitute class. So, percent of carbon equals 12.01 grams over mole over 44.01 grams over mole times 100%. Now, what could be the answer, class? Anyone? Yes, that's correct. The answer is percent of carbon equals 27.29%. How about for the oxygen, class? Okay, so let us now substitute the given problem to the formula. So, let us now substitute, class. Percent of oxygen equals 32.00 grams over mole over 44.01 grams over mole times 100%. Now, what could be the answer? Anyone? Yes, nice idea, which is percent of oxygen equals 72.71%. So that is the answer. So any questions, class, with regards to this problem? Okay, so if there's no more questions, so let's try another problem. Number 3. Compute the percent composition of each element in the compound carbon. Now, what are the elements present in the compound carbon, class? Very good. So, first is carbon. What else? Yes, you are right, which is oxygen. What else? Correct, which is oxygen. Now, what are the atomic mass of each element? For the carbon, what is the atomic mass? Yes, that's great, which is 12.01 grams. Now, how about for hydrogen? What is the atomic mass? Yes, very good, which is 1 grams. Now, how about for oxygen? What is the atomic mass? Yes, you are right, which is 14 grams. So, let us multiply them based on their number of moles. So, what is the number of moles of carbon? Anyone? Correct, which is 10 mole. Now, how about for hydrogen? Very good, which is 14 mole. Now, how about for oxygen? You are right, which is 1 mole. So, we have to multiply each of the elements, starting with carbon. So, 12.01 grams times 10 mole equals, what's the answer? Yes, that's good, which is 120.1 grams over mole. Now, how about for hydrogen? What is the answer? Very good. So, 1.00 grams times 14 mole equals 14 grams over mole. Now, how about for oxygen? 14.00 grams times 1. What is the answer? Yes, you are correct, which is 16 grams over mole. Now, we add them. So, 120.1 grams over mole plus 14 grams over mole plus 16 grams over mole. What's the answer? Correct. The answer is 150.21 molar mass. Any questions? Okay, so let us now substitute the given problem to our formula. So, 150.21 grams over mole of molar mass. So, that's our total answer of the given of each element. So, let us now substitute to the formula, which is percent composition equals mass of an element over the total mass of a given compound times 100%. So, let us substitute first the carbon. Okay, let us now substitute. So, percent of carbon equals 120.1 grams over mole over 150.21 over mole times 100%. Now, what is the answer of the percent of carbon, class? Anyone? Yes, that's correct. So the answer is 79.96% of the percent of carbon. Okay, any questions? If none, now let us now substitute the percent of the hydrogen. So, the percent of hydrogen equals 14.11 grams over mole over 150.21 grams over mole times 100%. Now, what is the answer, class? Correct. So, the answer is percent of hydrogen equals 9.9%. Any questions? Okay, and next is for oxygen. So let us now substitute the given of the oxygen to the formula. So, percent of oxygen equals 16 grams over mole over 150.21 grams over mole times 100%. Now, what is the answer? Yes, that's great. So, the answer is percent of oxygen equals 10.65%. So, any questions with regards to this problem, class? Our question. So, let us now proceed to the importance of percent composition. Now, what is your idea, class? What are the importance of percent compositions in our life? Correct. Aside from that, what else? That's good. So, percent composition allows you to know the ideal dosage or amount of substance to use. So in terms of medicine, it is important to know your ideal dosage because if it has less amount, it is not affected. But if it has too much, of course, it would lead to drug overdose. Okay, do you understand, class? Any questions? Okay, if there's no more questions, so let us apply some of your knowledge. So let's try this activity, class. Okay, you may get any kind of paper will do. And after that, let's answer them together. Okay, so I have here a question. For number 1, you have to calculate the percent composition of aluminum in aluminum hydroxide. And number 2, you have to compute the mass percent of each element. A, 4, and B. Okay, you may now start answering. Are all of you done, class? Okay, so let's answer together. So for number 1, aluminum equals 1 times 27.0. So of course, we have to multiply, so the answer is 27.0. And for oxygen, 3 times 16.0 equals 48. And for hydrogen, 3 times 1 equals 3.0. So we have to add them. So our answer is 78.0 grams over mole. So let's substitute our given problem to the formula. So the formula, let's substitute. So percent of aluminum equals 27 mole over 78 mole times 100 equals 34.6%. And for hydrogen, equals 3 mole over 78 mole times 100% equals 3.84%. And for percent of oxygen equals 48 mole over 78 mole times 100% equals 61.53%. Do we have the same answer, class? Okay, that's good. Okay, so our hydrogen equals 1 times 1.01 grams over mole equals 1.01 grams. And for our chlorine, so it is 1 times 35.45 equals 35.45 grams. So we have to add them. So the answer is 36.46 grams over mole. Now, since we have our given, so we have to substitute our given problem to the formula. So let us find first the percent of hydrogen. So we have to substitute. So 1 mole over 36 36.46 mole times 100% equals 2.77%. 35.45 mole over 36.46 mole times 100 equals 97.23%. Do you get me, class? Okay, that's for letter A. And next, for number 2, compute the mass percent of each element. For letter B. So here's our given. So K equals 39.10 times 1 equals 39.10 grams. And for nitrogen, 14.01 times 1 equals 14.1 grams. And for our oxygen is 16 times 3 equals 48 grams. So we have to add them. So our answer is 101.11 grams per mole. So since we have our given problem, so we have to substitute to our formula. Let us start with potassium. So our percent of potassium equals 39.10 mole over 101.11 mole times 100 equals 88.67%. And for our nitrogen, so we have to substitute, which is 14.01 mole over 101.11 mole times 100 equals 1.86%. And for our oxygen, so it is 48 mole over 101.11 mole times 100 equals 47.47%. Okay, any questions? Do we have the same answer? Yay, very good. So let us now have a quiz. So you have to get another sheets of paper, and I will give you 5 minutes to answer. And if you're done, you will submit your papers here in front. Okay, you may now start answering. Are all of you done, class? Okay, you may now submit your papers. And for your assignment, you have to study in advance all about volcanoes. Are we clear, class? Do you understand? Okay, any questions? If there's no more question, thank you for listening, class. That's it for today, and goodbye.